You ever heard of target fixation? So there's this weird thing we humans do. If you fixate on something that you don't want to do, for example, if you're learning to drive and you keep thinking, don't hit the mailbox, don't hit the mailbox, don't hit the mailbox, what you may find is that by focusing so hard on not hitting the mailbox, you actually steer right into it. This is a known issue in just about every field. I don't know why we humans do that, but we do. And this really applies to your art. There are a lot of rules out there, do's and don'ts when it comes to creation, and they all have some level of validity. It really comes down to what works for you, who you are, your situation, your learning style. But the thing is that the way these are phrased often, lend themselves to target fixation. One of my favorite books that I'm working on now is for a 20,000-year-old vampire named Nocte. I started working on it in 2009. One of the reasons I wasn't able to finish it is because all of the industry experts were saying, nobody wants vampires anymore, the trope is done, don't do vampires, you fool of a writer, no vampires! Now, anybody with a brain in their head knows that's complete baloney, but that's what the industry experts said. And they're saying the same thing now about a lot of different things. Whatever industry you're in, you're going to be hit with a lot of don'ts. And they're presented as hard, cemented laws with absolutely no wiggle room. But if you get fixated on those, you end up kind of breaking your piece instead of making new things. It sets you into an editing loop where you're trying to perfect and hone this thing that you have so that it doesn't do the dreaded don't. You end up never finishing because the thing that they said not to do is what you actually want to do, and so you just end up spinning in circles. Or you end up somehow creating an accidental monstrosity because somebody told you nobody likes enemies to lovers tropes, it's done, it's over, it's old. You end up smushing your characters and smushing your story to avoid that, and then you lose all the inner conflict and it doesn't work anymore. Do's and don'ts when it comes to art are suggestions. They are general guide rails. They're not hard and fast. I'm not talking about something like, don't forget to clean your brushes after you paint. I mean, that's not what we're saying, and I think you know that. Humans, as you probably know, work better with positive reinforcement than negative reinforcement. How do you think your art's going to benefit if you focus on a do instead of a don't? If instead of worrying about you can't do these tropes or you can't do these styles, instead you go, you know what, I want to do these styles. I want to do these tropes in a way that really works, that makes sense, that works organically inside the whole piece. I want to do these specific things, even if I'm told not to do them. Well, you're a lot more likely to finish that goal because it's something you want to do. It's something you enjoy, something you will take pride in completing. And the funny thing is, by the time you finish it, chances are the industry experts will have pendulum swung the other way anyway, and now they're harping on some other thing that they say is done and over and nobody does anymore. Art made for love of art is always better. There is always something in it that's more alive, even than more polished pieces that were just done for the sake of money. Yeah, no, I'm leaving that line in there because it's true. So friend, as you work this week on building that daily creation habit, I'm going to encourage you to avoid the don't mindset. Instead of worrying about, I can't do this, I can't do that. If I do that, it's cheesy. If I do that, it's ugly. Think about the do's. Think about the end result. Think about what you could get if you really apply yourself. Ooh, I could make an enemies to lovers that is so spicy and delicious it might even make real life people resolve their problems. Hey, why not? Weirder things have happened. Focus on the do's. Focus on what you can achieve. I think you'll find yourself a much happier creator. So sit down with me. Give yourself permission to make it messy and make it small. But together, let's make something new. Thank you to my amazing Patreon. I don't know what I would do without you guys. You are the best. I'll see you on the written page.